So yes, raising capital is a number game. And of course, I hear you're saying, of course it's a number game because I have my financials, I have my startup metrics, I need to do growth. But in this specific example, I'm not talking about these kind of numbers. I'm very much aware that you are busy scaling your company up and that there's all kinds of numbers involved. But what I want to teach you in this kind of lesson, a trick where you can truly influence the outcome that you get out of your fundraising. Because the main problem I see is that too many founders are throwing their towel in the ring and I cannot fund my company. And then when I keep on asking, right, I quickly find out that they have been reaching out to 2 less investors, or they have been reaching out to investors over a larger time span. So stay within the camera. And of course, if you're raising capital and you're actively asking for cash from investors, which I would strongly recommend you to not do. You want to build that relationship first. And once you have created that relationship and you have enough interest in your business, that's the moment where you think like, okay, I have enough people that like my business, and that's the moment where you start actively asking for cash. Now, quickly back to my previous example, that raising capital is a number game. Yes, nice. The 2 problems, I'm not able to fund myself because you talk with 2 less investors, and what you have been learning in the last lessons as well, it could be that you're talking with investors that are not relevant to you. Relevancy is the key. Relevancy drives us in our world. The more relevant we are, the more it resonates with our audience. And relevancy is very much about selling, right? If your favorite color is purple and I'm trying to sell you black, this one, that's simply not going to work. On the other hand, if it takes already way too long, it starts raining here. If it already takes way too long for you to be in the market, right, then you are not hot anymore. There's no momentum, and people are just simply not interested in your offering. So what I really would like you to take away from the current lesson I'm going to share with you is that raising capital is a number game, and if you have your numbers right, you will succeed. So, 2 things that we're going to discuss: why founders fail to raise capital. And the second thing is maximize and project your success through an investor funnel. So why founders fail raising capital? First of all, I want to make one thing very clear, right? The fact that you have a lot of investors on your list that are relevant to your business doesn't mean that you will be able to get funded. No, what you need to do is make your business investable. You learn in the previous ones, like you need to think about return on investment. How can my business be interesting? Let it be through scale, let it be through uniqueness, your team, many different factors. And these are also factors that we discuss in our comprehensive program, which is Get Funded, where we not only work, of course, on the investors, but more and more as well over how to make your business really investable. And that can happen by doing things differently, communicate things in another way that you normally would do. And that will bring your way of thinking also in a different state, and therefore you make yourself attractive. So if the startup is not investable for a variety of reasons, and you have a mountain full of investors, it's still not going to happen, right? So if you really would like to go to the next level, definitely check out Get Funded program. Or they don't plan and take enough time to raise capital and run out of funds. if you not constantly busy with investor relationships, if you're not carefully looking for relevant investors and kick off the round at one specific moment, because the majority of the founders goes wrong by constantly asking for cash. And the next time you see this investor, you're still the round open, what do you think is his reaction? The company's not hot. And we human beings like to invest in things that are hot, right? We would like to have the idea that we find these gems. So if you don't plan enough and you're forced with your bank account on your phone and seeing that you only have an X month of runway left, yeah, then you run into problems. Please, if you check in with yourself currently and you say like, okay, I have only 2 months or 3 months left, you better get onto it. The ideal way would be to have 4 months or more, because then I'm very sure that you're able to raise capital. The third thing is you're unable to captivate investor interest. And that comes very close to your pitching skills, your strategy, the way you position your opportunity. And sorry, I'm just going a little bit overboard because I just want to give you enough value. So you feel the difference. If I share with you, just imagine for a second, there's a long road, right? And on that road, there's a few shops. And it's a sunny day. And there's a beautiful mountain view when you walk over that road. Later on, unable to captivate investor interest, it could be that if we use this specific example and you would explain, okay, what are you doing? Yeah, I was walking over a road this afternoon and I bumped into some shops. That was nice. That's the way you can present your business. Or you could say, I discovered this beautiful road which had these picturesque shops on each side of the road that were selling fresh fish, were selling beautiful, authentic clothes. And while I was walking there, I bumped into this special friend, and he showed me this amazing view of the Valley of Mountains. And while we were having a chat together, sipping my coffee, it was such a sunny day. Maybe stupid example, right? But I'm trying to say that the words you use in your pitch, the words you use in your pitch deck, the words you use on your website, the way you communicate what you're all about and what you're trying to solve is crucial in order to get the captivate investor interest. Because you're competing with a lot of different founders, and these investors just look what they think is the best business to invest in. So you want to spend time on all of these small little items. The fourth thing is like the team meets insufficient amount of investors. Logically, right? If you're raising a $500,000 round and you only have 10 investors to reach out to, you will find out in the example I'm going to walk you through, that's just not going to work, right? So you need to have relevant investors and sufficient reach. Remember the RR, relevant and reach. The startup is not reaching out to relevant investors. I mean, I just said it, but it's also here. Because relevancy creates curiosity. Unrelevance is just like a passenger. So don't waste your time here. So let's start then with an example of a sales funnel. Why a sales funnel? So I just shared with you why founders are failing is because they don't have enough investors, they're not investable, they are not taking enough time to do so. All great. In this example here, I would like to show you that if you build relevant investors in your list with sufficient amount of reach, and you see your fundraising as a as a funnel, as a process, right? Then you could almost influence the outcome. So let that sink for a second. Make your investor outreach a funnel. Write it down. So let's say in this case that here on the left side, I have a monthly sales target, because I'm going to first give you an example how this works with sales. Let's say in your team you have a monthly sales target of $50,000. You know that your price costs $1,000, right? So how much clients do you need in order to reach the sales target? It's 50, correct? So you see here in my beautiful funnel that I would like to have $50,000 in revenue. I would like to have, therefore, 50 clients. And here you have it. We're going to reverse engineer what we're doing. In order to get 50 people paying $1,000 for my product, I expect that 20% of the people that I'm talking with on the phone will convert in a client. I guess it's higher when you have a relevant offer, but to just put it on the, into the safety side. So what you learn here is that if you are able to get 250 calls scheduled in your calendar, while your product is $1,000, and you're relevant in your communication and in your outreach, then it's very likely that 50 people, and I'm on the low side here, will grab their wallet and invest $1,000 in your business. And that brings you the $50,000 in revenue. Now, if we bring it one step higher, in order to get 250 calls, I need to have a 25% conversion rate, which brings me to 1,000 leads that I need to react to, interact with, show them what we can do for them, and bring enough excitement. So see here again, unable to captivate investor interest. In this case, you could say unable to captivate client interest in this example. Then it means automatically that I'm losing, right? So, but if I'm relevant and I grab the interest through a great opportunity, through words, through images, through user cases, and I grab 1,000 leads, then I'm getting even more sure that I'm going to reach the $50,000 in revenue. Now, in order for me to reach, is this correct? In order for me to reach 1,000 leads, right? I see that there's one mistake here. In order to reach 1,000 leads, I need to spend 1,000 times $10 is $10,000 on ads, on marketing acquisition. So here you have it. You spend $10,000. The $10,000 becomes 1,000 leads. The 1,000 leads through your message delivers 250 calls. The 250 calls transforms into 50 paying clients that pay $1,000, and therefore you arrive at a $50,000 in revenue. And then I hear you saying, Sven, nice this little sales training that you're giving, but why is this so important? Let me show you. Same example. Currently we're raising $1 million, right? Here on the left side, add relevant investors to your funnel, add sufficient reach together with an investable business, and you're on your way to get funded. So let's make an assumption. If you're raising $1 million, in our example, we need to have between 3 and 5 investors. Why? Because if you're raising $1 million, right, and you're in the early stage, it could be that you're focusing on a seed stage. Minimum seed stage is a lot of times around $200,000. So 3 times $200,000 is 600, right? Could be that someone takes the lead, so you have 1 of 500 and a 2 of 200 and 1 of $100,000, which could be an angel. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. What I want to show you here, if you know that you have between the 3 and the 5 investors that you need in order to close your deal of 1 million, not all of the investors that you talk with are going to invest in you, but you know that in order to get investment, you need to do reach out, you need to do your discovery calls, you need to do your pitch presentations, and they will ask you data, and then they will make an investment. So if we're bringing it from 3 to 5, we could almost say that in order to arrive between 3 and 5, we need to have at least 10 people that are actively want to know the inside of our business due to our due diligence. And that brings us up that we need to have at least 20 to 25 different kind of pitches, right? In order to leave us with 10 people that are going to ask us for our due diligence. In order to get 20 to 25 pitches, we need to have at least 35 discovery calls. And the key word here is, guys, I cannot share it enough. Relevancy. You need to talk with relevant investors. Otherwise, you need way more discovery calls. And that's why you're in this workshop, to know what's relevant. Think about the 4 criteria. Then after that, you know that you need, in order to reach 35 discovery calls, between 75 and 100 relevant investors for the reach out. Does this make sense? So, if you have 75 to 100 investors that are relevant in your industry, in your sector, in your stage, in your location, the 4 criteria, then drawing a great email or building that relationships delivers you the discovery calls. And from these discovery calls, you will find out, that from the 75 to 100, 35 will say, yes, I like this. And you're going to have 20, 30-minute meetings with them. And you're going to give it your best. And you're going to ask for soft commitments. And then once people are saying like, yes, this is truly it, then you will have officially fund ask 20 pitches, real pitch deck pitches. And then people are going to ask information. And that's the moment where you go share your data. And that should drive you to 3 to 5 investors. Now, if you wondered, why the hell was this name, the workshop named Tribe of 75 Investors? This workshop is tailor-made for early stage startups, where I assume you want to raise anywhere from $100,000 to $1 million. And here you have it. So I will as well put more like a calculative sheet inside of your student area so you can play around with this. I hope this is really valuable and that you know suddenly that with this information you can significantly grow the probability to get funded. So you have the funnel here of sales, you know how it works, you believe in it, it's a fact. You can do the same because it's also selling. You're not selling your product, you're selling your business. Sounds simple. So a recap and action. You need to have the double R. Reach and relevancy is the key word. I cannot say it enough. I believe that the material that I'm going to teach you today and that you're already consuming is all about learning that if I have sufficient amount of reach in our investors and I spend time in doing it and I create relevancy, which means they love the business because you work with the four top dream criteria, then you set yourself up the races. Then you only want to start up your fundraising when you have seeded a group of relevant investors. So that's between 75 and 100 or the relevant number that is related to your current fund request. Then you want to kickstart your fundraising with all of the investors at the same time. Go back in the workshop, I talk about oversubscribed. If you're oversubscribed, it means that you have enough interest from all of these investors that suddenly come to you and you have only a few tickets to give away. If you spread yourself very thin and you meet some investors today, the next week in 3 weeks from now, you will never, ever, ever, ever get oversubscribed. Then predict your outcomes by thinking in funnels. I think this is a real aha moment. This should be an aha moment. Don't think 15 is enough. No, bang it, guys. It's a winner mentality. The winner takes it all. Lean into your opportunity and you will crush it. And I'm there for you on the side if you have any kind of questions. The fifth point is always warm up your investors before you ask for funds. Through discovery meetings, aka no fund asks. Take a sip. So, set up your investor funnel using the workbook in the program. That comes all for free, right? Works pretty well, and you can play around with the formulas. I will give you the formula sheet. Cool. The 4 methods to find investors. Now, I don't want to stop here too long. I just quickly want to go over it. There's actually 4 ways, right? The best way is actually through the second one, which is your network of founders. If you have befriended founders, you could literally ask them to make an introduction. That's by far the best way to do it. But if you're just early on, you don't have that whole network. For those of you who have paid attention to my workshop, you have noticed that I give you one trick. You could play the card by sending some of the founders that are relevant in your industry by saying like, hey, I have an idea in working with that investor. I see that you're already working with them. Is this an investor that you really love? Just a small little sentence. And he will say like, yeah, sure, I'm very happy, very nice, works really well. Then you have created a connection. Then you can say like, second question, would you mind, now we're talking anyway, check out my investment teaser. The investment teaser will provide a communication and a relationship between you two. And later on, you can send him a message. But hey, would you like to introduce me to this investor? And because he already saw your materials, he likes it. It costs him a little bit of time and you're off to the races. The first one is events, right? Events offline and events online. Events offline is by times a bit complicated, specifically in the time of Corona, pandemics and all that kind of stuff. But could work very well. So you can identify. On the other hand, investors there are very busy. Sometimes it's better to, for example, New Medium Clubhouse works very well. Connect with investors on social media, where I believe that LinkedIn is the best opportunity. We will go later on into the demonstration. I will show you how that exactly works. And of course, you have online networks. Online networks like Crunchbase is the #1 source where you should reach out to, together with, for example, angel.co. How this all works, I'm going to show you in the demo that I'm going to record for you so you can, pause, play. It goes too much in detail with the risk of being cut out by technology or things are not working, so therefore I'm recording it for you. Because I just wanted to give you these 4. So it's events, founders introduction, online news portals, online investment databases, fundraising platforms even, and LinkedIn. LinkedIn to just find. I don't say that you need to reach out to LinkedIn. I'm not a fan of that. Today you will learn a better way. That's through email, and therefore you're going to check out, in that sense, the demonstration. So the startups events, you join startup event offline in your local area or online through demo days. The founders introduction is you create a list of 10 founders from your industry and sector, share with them an email with your teaser, or use more like a strategy, hey, are you happy working with that investor? They will always answer. And ask for 10 to 15 minutes expert feedback, what to improve, and later on ask for introductions to their network. Or online, you can go to crunchbase.com. If you haven't been there, if you don't have a profile, definitely set it up. Set up your own startup profile, filter there for investors, search for emails and contact data, which I'm going to show you in the demonstration, and start up a warm-up flow. For those of you who would like to be interested in getting some of the emails that we're using ourselves, there was an opportunity within the workshop to get it on a bump offer. I'm not sure exactly what the price currently is, but then you can just steal them, get them, use them, and book success. Then we have LinkedIn, linkedin.com. Again, optimize your profile. You see it as well. I mentioned this here. Optimize your profile, because a great profile attracts great investors, great founders. Search for investors via the filter. You can do this easily via search. I'm going to show you. And search for emails and contact data demonstration. Start up a warm-up flow, and again, there's a demonstration. Why is this not working? Sorry. Yeah, this is very annoying, guys. I will tell you why. Sorry. Boom. Because I'm working on an iPad, for God's name, Steve Jobs wants to do everything in-house, and there's no option to record myself other than this. And I think it's nice to see my face as well. Not that it looks so nice, but just for some personal experience. Cool. So, how to find, connect, and contact investors. This will be presented in the video demo, so I'm not going to go over this here. Tracking your investor pipeline, also a video demo, because it goes a little bit too deep in here. This is the workshop, this is for you. We're going over the questions later on, and otherwise it takes ages, right? So, the recap. We have arrived at the end of the workshop. And I just want to give you a bigger overview of what we have been learning. Take between 3 to 4 months for your fundraising. On the other hand, always maintain your relationships. Second, raise capital for 18 months of runway based on your best case scenario. So find out, runway, 18 months, best case scenario, that's what you're raising. Because it's visible for the investor, it looks achievable. Work only with investors that are relevant to your location, industry, sector, and stage. Someone from deep tech is not going to invest in an e-commerce marketplace. It's not going to happen. Unless they are sector agnostic. Only kick off the round when you have between 75 or 100 dream investors to reach out to. And this will help you to get oversubscribed, get better deal terms, influence the outcome in your favor, and be faster successful. The fifth point is try to see what are your assets. How are you going to finance the business? Operation, acquisition, combine loans and equity to create the ultimate capital mix in an affordable way and maintain ownership. Then leverage at least 10 founders introductions and choose to avoid hungry investors. Work with smart capital only. You have heard me saying it before, I'm going to say it again. The dollar sign is a very simple, tacky piece of paper. It's your goal as founder to make that dollar, that green bill, as smart as you can get by getting investors that can mentor you, having an investor as a friend, having an investor with a great network, and in that sense, be truly awesome. Now, this is not the workshop where I'm going to actively sell anything, but I will tell you this. This workshop is an invite for you to take your fundraising very seriously. So please keep a note on your emails, because I'm going to share with you our bigger program, which is Get Funded. It's a 90-day program. You can start whenever you want. And that Get Funded program is ridiculously affordable priced. I made the big mistake previously to make it too expensive. But after we changed the prices, we have literally hundreds of people joining on that. And which is great because it fits my mission to help guys like you, girls like you, build their startups smarter, faster, and raise capital smarter and faster. So if you're keen to bring your startup to the next level, make it investable, work on your investment documents, your financials, your investment story, to know how to find, raise, and close a deal, keep an eye on your email. And otherwise, if you really cannot wait, just send us a message and we will follow up with that. Otherwise, you can have a look on the website. Looking truly to work with you on that aspect. Currently, 75% of the action takers is achieving and creating an opportunity to raise capital. It's a group program, which means that we connect with each other every Monday, multiple times. So I take your hand and you can leverage my expertise, how I have helped dozens of other founders raise over $50 million in capital. So keen to work with us and get live expert guidance with your full fundraising. Keep an eye on your email. This is the end of the workshop. I had a lot of fun doing it. I hope this is truly something that brought you aha moments, and that is your best $37 that you have could spend. I have given you golden nuggets where you can literally get 100x return on the advice that I'm giving you here, how to change things in your order. And I want to share with you the fact that you're watching this means that you're serious. You have a conceptual idea, you have a business, you want to have more money, you're an entrepreneur, you're making a change in this world. By growing your company, you have an impact on your family life, impact on your children. You show how to escape the system and be really legendary, right? I mean, we have one life and you choose to go to this road, and I have significant respect for that. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So this is the end of the workshop. Go check your video demos. Go check your sheets, your formula sheets to play around with, and connect with me on our Founders Tribe, which is a free community for founders if you haven't. And if there's anything, hit me up on LinkedIn, send me a message on Founders Tribe, or join us in program Get Funded. And I'm sincerely looking forward to work with you or help you move faster forward. This is it so far. See you on the inside.